Hey guys, welcome back to J&J MMA. Real quick, I just want to cover the main card of UFC Fight Night, Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. Honestly, guys, for the first card of the year, this is a really fun way to start it off from the opening to the end. It was just overall a fun card. I very much enjoyed the entire night. I'm going to give some quick shout-outs to the prelims, and then we're going to move on to the main card. If you want to skip to the main card, there will be timestamps in the description below. First shout-out of the night goes to Fatima Klein. She ended up getting a TKO over Victoria Dudikova. Dudikova basically kept going for takedowns the entire fight, and even when she would get them, Klein would just end up getting on top of her. Basically ended up just had an answer for everything Dudikova would try. Ended up ending the fight by cutting up her face with some nasty elbows, some nasty punches, and ended up getting the TKO on top. So congratulations to her for that. Next shout out of the night goes to Jacoby Smith. He knocked Preston Parsons the fuck out in like a minute 13. Now he is 10-0, undefeated. That man has scary punching power. that was a devastating knockout to see, but he was the clear favorite going into the fight, and so I'm not surprised that that's how it ended up playing out. So congratulations to him. Next shout out of the night goes to Marco Tulio. He ended up knocking out Ihor Potieria, or I guess maybe a TKO would be considered. Earlier in the fight, he kicked fucking Potieria right in the nuts, dude. He only ended up standing there for a good 3 minutes taking a break, which I can't blame him. But ended up moving on in the fight. He ended up getting him with a good shot, got him on the ground. He swarmed him, and I will give it to Potieria. Potieria tried to fight back. He even tried to go for an armbar attempt, just trying to defend himself, but there was nothing he could do, dude. It was like watching a shark go after a fish. Like at that point, it was donezo. So shout out to Marco for getting the finish on him, and hopefully we'll see some good things coming from him here in the future. Also, a quick shout out to Felipe Bunes with the nasty armbar in round 1. Literally, as soon as he locked up that shit, he was not letting go. His opponent was flailing, fighting for his life a little bit, but nah, it wasn't happening. So shout out to Felipe. That was a really fun submission, fun way to cap off the card going into the main. And going into the main card, guys, our opening fight, it was Punahele Soriano versus Uros Medic. Now, Soriano slept Uros in 30 seconds. Like, I mean, he was the underdog. People were counting him out, bro. Like, I really didn't hear that much talk about him this weekend. And homie fucking hits like a truck. Like, he got a good stinging shot at the opening of the fight. You know, they're both southpaws. They're sitting there kind of, throwing their punches and stuff. Uros backed up. Homie threw a two-piece. First one missed. Second one just clipped his fucking chin. Homie fell on the ground, and he swarmed Uros, dude. And just fucking got the TKO in 30 seconds. Like, it happened so quick. And man just hits like a damn Mack truck. So it was just a beautiful way to open the card. I hope we get to see some good things for him in the future. And, he's now 3-0 as an underdog in the UFC. So we'll definitely see where he goes from here. All right, guys, our next fight of the night, it was Christian Rodriguez, C-Rod, versus Austin Bashi. Now, Christian Rodriguez ended up winning unanimous decision tonight, and I do not disagree with that one bit. Like, Bashi's only fucking plan was, I'm gonna wrestle you. But I know he did go for a submission once or twice throughout the fight, but he wasn't aggressive with it. He wasn't quick with it. He wasn't landing shots on bottom, really. And anytime they were standing, it was clear Christian had an advantage. But anytime Bashi would try to take him down or get him to the ground, even if he did succeed, Christian was scrambling. He was trying to fight out of shit. Like, he even denied a couple takedowns, if I remember the fight correctly. Like, and even established a couple of his own takedowns. But I feel like going into round 3, it was 1-1. We get to round 3, and man, Christian was just laying it on him. Now, there were points where Bashi did get some ground control and some control against the cage. He was trying to get a submission and trying to lock in like a rear naked on him. But Christian just kept denying him everything. And then when they stood, he ended up cutting up the kid's face. I mean, the kid's only 23 years old. He definitely has room to improve and get better. But it just seems Christian Rodriguez just has a habit of shutting down these goddamn up-and-comers. Like, for some reason, he can fight a veteran and lose, clearly. And then these fucking kids come in undefeated, dude. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna put a 1 on your record. So, shout out to Christian for getting the win. It was honestly a good performance. And we'll see where he goes from here, man. Next fight, guys, it was Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. Now, guys, this was a really close fight. Like, I definitely, if I'm remembering it correctly, I feel like I gave Roman round 1. I was kind of leaning Chris towards round 2 because Chris started picking up the pace, especially started landing more shots, was denying the takedowns. We get to round 3. Round 3 is pretty close. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was leaning more towards Chris Curtis just because there was more visible damage on Roman's face. I felt like he started picking up the pace more. But these guys were just fucking throwing beating the shit out of each other, especially Chris Curtis, because he landed over 100 significant strikes. I believe Kopylov only got like 90 something. So Chris was putting in some work. We get to the very end of the fight, and dude, literally just 1 second left on the fucking clock, and Kopylov just throws a fucking head kick, gets Curtis on the ground. He tries to stand up. You can clearly tell he's dazed and confused, and the ref called it off with 1 fucking second left. And I personally feel like if it went to decision, I think Curtis had a very good chance of winning the fight, but it was very fucking close. But damn was he pissed, and he's kind of a sore loser. By kind of, I mean he very much is. That's not a fucking secret. But I just, damn dude, that I would have been pissed off if I was in that situation. Like, cause goddamn bro, with 1 second left, that's some shit out of a fucking movie. But shout out to Kopylov, because even in victory, I feel like this was his most difficult fight that he's won. I feel like Chris definitely put him in a place he didn't think he was going to be in, because Chris put up a really good fight. Like, it was, damn, it was close. But shout out to Kopylov, because that was a beautiful head kick in the end. Moving on to the next fight, guys. It was Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. Now, guys, this fight was looking like Abdul was going to take it. Abdul was laying on more damage. Cesar was landing some good shots as well, but Abdul was just going forward. And it just seemed like he was getting the better of Cesar throughout the round. He went forward. He threw like 2 or 3 punches Cesar's way. And I believe Cesar threw one that missed and then threw a fucking right, dude. Just hit Abdul right on the fucking chin and he ran right into it. Laid Abdul out, dude. Like his eyes rolled in the back of his head, like the Windows XP fucking noise went off in the background. Like they had they had issue getting him up on the stool, had issues getting him out of the cage. Like his world was fucking rocked. Cesar is a small built frame dude, but that man trains with Alex Pereira in them, and obviously he got power in those hands. So shout out to Cesar, dude, because in my opinion that was kind of a comeback win, even though it was round 1. But damn, shout out to him for that. All right, guys, we're going to move on to our co-main event of the evening. It was Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlston Harris. Honestly, guys, I was very much counting Carlston out of this fight because his last fight, he got knocked the fuck out. So I was like, you know, I feel like if someone has, you know, the chance to knock him out, it's going to be Santiago Ponzinibbio. Now, Santiago himself hasn't had the best skid these last couple of years, but he's more recognizable to me. I felt, you know, he was going to do more. This fight was a very much back and forth fight. Both of these men knocked each other down multiple times. And that's my biggest criticism of both, is they'd get the knockdown and they wouldn't swarm. Like, there's a point where Santiago, he's kept kicking his thighs, which don't get me wrong, that does do damage. Getting kicked in the legs isn't fucking fun. But, you know, he could have tried to swarm on him, do something on the ground. But, you know, these guys are giving it their all. We get towards the end of the fucking fight, dude. Both their faces are a little smashed up. Mostly Carlston, dude. Like, Harrison's face was just bloody. Fucking Santiago ended up landing a good shot. Ended up swarming him. Getting the TKO on him in the end. And it was a fun co-main event. The guys that were very cordial afterwards, you know, talking, you know, complimenting each other and shit. Very much, I think if it went to decision in the end, I don't know who would have got it because it was that close of a contest. But Santiago ended up pulling out the victory. I'm honestly happy for him. You know, he's an older guy. I'm glad he's kind of getting back on a W skid, you know, not a L skid. But we'll see where he goes from here, guys. And we're about to move on to the main event. It is Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. Ribas, however you say her last name, Ribas. This is a rematch, guys. In the last contest, Amanda won. She ended up winning a decision against Dern. Bro, this fight, Mackenzie kind of had her number on it. Like, don't get me wrong, like, Mackenzie has kept getting her to the ground. Like, Amanda really couldn't really fight off the takedowns. And don't get me wrong, Amanda got some takedowns of her own, landed some good elbows at certain points. But it just seemed like even when Mackenzie was on the bottom, it kind of seemed like that's what she wanted to be, was on bottom. Because she kept going for submissions, she kept trying to pull guards, shit like that. Eventually, she does get the fight. She ends up winning by a fucking armbar, dude, because she just kept going for it. Eventually, she got on top of Amanda, got in a good fucking position, and cranked that bitch. Like, you saw her arm, it looked like it was trying to pop out of the fucking place, like her elbow. It was like it was trying to pop out. It was not fun. It was not fun looking, but Mackenzie has shown that she definitely has majorly improved her game, especially since their first outing. I personally thought Amanda had a better chance of winning, because Mackenzie Dern, for me, it's like, she kind of like wins, loses, win, loses. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never a clear pattern of wins. So I definitely thought, you know, I was kind of in the pool of people that thought she was going to lose. So it did surprise me, and especially the way she pulled it out. armbar at the end of the third, I believe it was. The end of the fight, too, was very peculiar to me because she ends up she like brings her daughter into the ring because I guess her daughter was born after their first fight or whatever. So I guess it's symbolic and shit. That kid looked terrified. Michael Bisping fucking holds the microphone to her and was like, "What do you think of your mom?" The kid's literally trembling and just, "Good." Like, the kid looked fucking petrified, and I felt very bad for the kid. But shout out to Mackenzie Dern for getting that win, because honestly, these girls, they were giving it their all. They were beating the shit out of each other before it came to an end, but Mackenzie Dern was just more crafty on the ground. I feel like the ground's, she's a ground specialist, obviously. I don't think that she's gonna win the title. I don't think she's gonna get up to the title picture, to be honest with you. And I don't necessarily mean get up to the title picture. I could see her contending for the title, but if Zhang Weili is staying the champion, I don't see her beating Zhang. That's just my personal feeling, though. But honestly, I mean, fuck, you never know. MMA math never makes any goddamn sense in this sport. But I'm happy to see her get a W at the start of the year. Definitely gonna see fun. It's definitely gonna be fun to see where things go from here. I just want to give a quick shout out to y'all made it to the end of the video. This year I'm going to try to add more content, going to try to do more original video topics. Just want to do more to interact with y'all and try to grow the audience. And I hope you guys enjoy this journey with me. It's going to be a good start of the year, and I will catch y'all on the next video.